So I just choked out Jack Paul's bitch-ass brother. In August, if I don't catch a case, I'm gonna knock out Jack Paul. Yeah. I'm the best boxer of all time.
Time is it then? Please tell these guys.
It's Tony time, bitches!
Welcome to Tony's MMA Corner, the only MMA channel that's not AI. I am your host,
Tony Sepulveda.
And today, we have a lot of news to cover in the world of violence. As always, Tony's MMA Corner would not exist without your generous contributions. If you want to continue to support the channel, you can sign up to my Patreon, or you can buy Tony's MMA Corner merch. All links will be in the description. I may be a week late with this story because I move at boomer speed, but a local Illinois high school was shocked at the display of a mini Nate Diaz as he reacted to his 14-2 loss in a high school wrestling match. Let's check it out. Well, it looks like little Diaz was not able to beat the streets. The streets still got a hold of him. I'm not saying I would have done the same thing, but he did lose 14-2, so I understand. It looks like Belal Muhammad is finally willing to step up and save the UFC 290 fight card. At first, it seemed like Belal Muhammad was going to mess up an opportunity to gain the favor of MMA fans, but it looked like a little pressure from the MMA world and probably a little money from Uncle Dana has now saved that card, and it looks like UFC 290 is going to have a pretty interesting co-main event. I mean, why wouldn't you be in shape, Belal? You've been talking so much about how you'll take any fight. Kobe doesn't deserve it, but this fight almost fell through because you didn't think you'd make the weight. It's not looking good for Belal, but it's great to see these guys step up. And like I said before, this fight is going to help make welterweight great again. So far, it looks like it's a go. Let's see how this unfolds. Sergey Pavlovich continues his very impressive and downright scary violent run in the UFC heavyweight division. I thought Curtis Blades was going to be a great test for him. I thought there would be a little bit more wrestling, but besides the one desperate shot that he threw, Pavlovich had no problem getting a TKO and now having 6 first-round KO finishes in the UFC. After Stipe and John Jones figure out when they're going to fight, they have a very dangerous Russian waiting for them. Pavlovich is a problem for either of these gentlemen. It's crazy. It's like the UFC loses one scary, one-punch knockout power artist like Francis Ngannou, and then they gain another. Francis is punching the sky right now. Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis had their long-awaited bout. While Ryan Garcia certainly gave it his best, it looked like that hydration clause did him no favors, as Gervonta Davis was able to put him away in the 7th round with a thunderous liver shot that would make Boss Rutan wet.
Ryan Garcia himself has also admitted that Gervonta may have been right when he said there was a mole in his camp. And who knows, maybe that led to that devastating liver shot. But with all that being said,
you gotta give it to Ryan Garcia, because if it wasn't for him, who knows if this bout would ever even be made. Boxing has a reputation of not making the fights that fans really want to see. And this was a fight that this fan even wanted to see. I'm not the hugest boxing purist, but I do like a good fight under Queensberry rules. And this was certainly that. Hopefully, this is a sign that boxing is going to make more bouts just like this one. Good job, gentlemen. A fight that got lost in the mix this weekend because of all the violence was Patchy Mix winning the Bellator Bantamweight Grand Prix. This well-known grappler was able to get a first-round KO en route to $1 million paycheck, and thus setting him up for the winner of the Sergio Pettis Pitbull matchup. Bellator puts on some great fights. Unfortunately, a lot of times they do get lost in the mix, and only us real violence connoisseurs can enjoy these bouts. Speaking of another bout that might get lost in the mix, Demetrius Johnson will be fighting this Friday. Is it this Friday? Saturday? Is it even this month? Who knows? Only us real violence connoisseurs would know. But this may also potentially be his last bout, and it's a trilogy with Adriano Moraes. Both men have been able to knock each other out with flying knees. This is the only kind of setup and drama that you'll find in MMA. I think Demetrius has settled into the 1FC rules, and I think he'll have no problem taking out Adriano Moraes once again. As always, Nate Diaz has been running amok in the streets. Yes, the close to 40-year-old man is still running around picking fights. Or maybe not picking fights, but certainly finishing them. He started out the night throwing water bottles, which is usually his warm-up ritual. He hit Chase Demore, who apparently is, I don't know, a YouTube boxer. I think he's part of KSI's little crew. Who knows? He started off the night throwing water bottles. Eventually, he and his crew found Chase Demore, and they jumped him. And as his main event for the weekend, he chokes out what he thought was probably Logan Paul. But it ended up being Rodney Peterson, a Logan Paul lookalike. Who can blame Nate? Some people are upset because it looks like the Paul lookalike wasn't really trying to fight Nate. But if you watch the video, he's certainly in his space. And with all the chaos going around, he should not have been in front of Nate. Because Nate is a wild, feral animal from Stockton, motherfucker. So he did get choked out. I'm hearing that there's a warrant out for Nate's arrest, and he might not even make that August bout with Jake Paul, which may probably be for the best. Because I like Nate Diaz's chances against Jake Paul in a real fight, not a boxing match with pillows on their hands and no ability to choke Jake Paul out. This may very well be a blessing in disguise for Diaz, as he could still keep his legendary status and not risk getting hit by a very capable Jake Paul. But we'll have to see how this unfolds. Will Rodney Peterson press charges on Nate Diaz? And will Nate Diaz be caught up in litigation this whole summer? Who knows? What we do know is the world of violence will always keep us engaged. Well, that's it for me, guys. And I'll see you guys next time on Tony's MMA Corner. The best boxer of all time.